For nearly 20 years, NeoSystems has been assisting government contractors and other project-based businesses to enable, run, and secure their back office operations. Now I'd like to introduce Gregory Giancola, Senior Manager of UKG Pro Consulting at NeoSystems, who will discuss how UKG Pro is enabling our clients to better run their Costpoint HR and payroll operations. Gregory?
Thank you, Don. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Perfect. Actually, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, everybody. As Don said, my name is Gregory Giancola. Why are my slides not working? There we go. Sorry about that little technology issue on my part. As Don said, my name is Gregory Giancola. I'm the practice lead for the UKG Consulting practice here at NeoSystems. I've been with NeoSystems since January of 2014. I've been a UKG Pro user since 2009. With us becoming a partner of UKG, I've also had to go and get various certifications. So I'm certified in multiple aspects along with my team within this product. You'll be hearing me talk about what those certifications entail and what type of products they entail. One point of clarification that I want to make is that I'm sure all of you may be aware, but probably not be aware, that back in March of 2020, Ultimate Software Group and Kronos, both best-in-breed products, one from an HCM perspective and the other from a time management perspective, have merged together to form what is known as Ultimate Kronos Group, or UKG. So legacy UKG Pro was known as UltiPro, and it is now known as UKG Pro. So hopefully that helps answer any questions for some of you who may have already been familiar with the UltiPro, now UKG Pro product. So UKG Pro is a full suite HCM product. It offers employers and companies to be able to go out and acquire talent through the use of their recruiting and onboarding tool. It also allows them to go out and pay them along with tracking employee lifecycle changes. So under the People and Pay Center, you have the ability to track your employees, be able to archive them, and put them into various forms of hierarchy, but more importantly, pay them. You're also able to track various benefits, and there are various benefit providers that the product has been integrated with, and I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. There's also the ability to really manage your talent through succession management, through a learning environment where you're able to go out and create your own courses and post them for your specific business needs. You're then able to track performance from performance improvement plans to annualized reviews or even anniversary reviews. If your organization is one that follows a calendar process year cycle, meaning that every spring or every fall, depending on the performance review, you have a merit increase, well, there is a tool within the product that allows you to track that and have it be approved by not only just one manager, but by multiple managers based on your business needs. Like I mentioned, as a result of the merger between Ultimate Software and Kronos, there has now been a new slew of multiple time and attendance products, ones that are designed from your basic time and attendance all the way up to workforce management and scheduling. So you're able to have very simplistic time reporting all the way up to very complex. Like I said, there are multiple ways to administer benefits in the system. There's also the ability to house employee documents and manage employee documents within the product as well. If you have questions from your employee population on, well, how do I do this from a tuition reimbursement? How do I do this? How do I do that? The tool also allows for employee self-service and what's known as People Assist, where you're able to go out and give your employees all the information, but it becomes more of a self-service centered experience. There's also the ability to capture feedback in surveys, and then like all products, there is a test environment associated with it. Okay, so those are the main modules within the product. Now, from a highlight perspective, sorry, my system is freezing. There we go. Sorry about that. So first and foremost, this is a SaaS environment. So which means that it's a hosted environment, and any updates and any improvements that are being made, UKG is automatically updating for you. There are spring and fall releases that all clients receive. So unlike with some of the competitors to UKG Pro, there are not certain versions of the product that you're on and that you have to update. Every client is on the same version of the product, and you, during the fall and spring releases, you're presented with the information to either enable or not enable, but it is being added into your environment. There are over 2,500 established carrier network relationships that UKG has solidified. So what that means is if you're connecting this product to a medical, a dental, a vision plan, or a supplemental life insurance, those carrier feeds have already been established. And so the turnaround for passing that information from a launch perspective has been greatly reduced. The system allows for career development. There's a really cool feature where you're able to have your employees go out into the product and model what their pay is going to be like based on they may have some life events from a benefit change going on, or they want to see how an open enrollment is going to impact their pay, or they may be slated for a promotion, or based on a life event, they may need to reduce their hours within your organization. They do have the ability to go out and see what their next paycheck will look like in that. Within the product, there is what's known as community broadcast. This is a tool that, especially after the year of 2020, where employers need to communicate more extensively and more frequently with their employee populations, this is a tool that can be used to send various forms of communication, whether it be email or whether it be text messaging, to your employee population on a frequent basis or an as-needed basis. With this tool, you get a very strong report writing tool associated with it. It's known as business intelligence. Here in UKG Pro, it's known as business analytics, but it's the same. If you're familiar with Costpoint, it's the same tool that's being used behind the scenes on that. From a candidate experience, there is candidate match, which is the ability to have that candidate find the best opportunity that your organization has for him or her. There's the ability to track OSHA incidents in here, workforce continuity, being able to look at your talent dashboard. This is really looking at your employee's profile and seeing where they're sitting in the organization from a high level perspective, but also it brings in their salary review information, it brings in their past review information, so that your managers and your executives are able to really see and understand the employee population. This is also a mobile-based technology. There is a specific app that allows for not only just the everyday employee, but managers and admins to go in and take advantage of the various workflows and approval processes associated with that product. Like I said, manager employee self-service, so you're able to give your employees various keys to be able to go into the product and either update their life events or update their direct deposit, their W-2, their address, what have you, and have that be routed through a workflow so that your various stakeholders from an HR or payroll or benefit perspective are being notified in a timely fashion so that they can then communicate these changes to any other groups that may need to. Same thing with the manager self-service. The product gives managers the ability to go in, promote, demote, make changes to the organization that the employee is associated with, change the supervisor, and do employee maintenance as part of their role as a manager with workflow associated with it. This product does allow for processing of payroll in the US and Canada. In addition, UKG Pro partners with various local government in foreign countries to be able to process their payroll on that from that aspect. And the ability to connect UKG Pro with Slack is another highlight. Now, one thing that I want to mention is how are we at NeoSystems using this, or how have our other clients that are both UKG Pro users and Costpoint are using this? Well, there are three main attributes in which the products talk to one another. First and foremost, the exchange of basic employee demographic and company-related information. We take advantage of the employee pre-process feature within Costpoint, and we do that via a couple ways depending on the clients that we're working with. Some of our clients prefer a full force file, so we're sending over all demographic and company-related information per employee over each and every time we generate this file. We have also worked with changes-only files where we're only sending from when the file ran, let's say, yesterday to today, what changes are going over. And we are in we are in the process of developing an API to connect these two products so that we can really take that human interaction out of the processing of making sure that UKG Pro and Costpoint are synced up. So that's one level that our products communicate with one another. The other is if you're using Costpoint from a time management perspective, well, you're going to collect your time over there, you're going to post your labor in Costpoint, and then, but if you're using UKG Pro from a payroll standpoint, well, that's very simple. We'll just pull the hours and dollars associated with each of your earning codes out, and we'll import that into UKG Pro. UKG will be the one that runs the gross to net, and it'll add any taxation, and it'll also add any deductions associated with it. The last part that we connect the two products together is via the general ledger. We use the general ledger preprocessor functionality in Costpoint, and we have standardized tables and templates that we're able to quickly deploy into the UKG Pro environment to be able to take that payroll processed information and transmit it over so that you're able to properly reconcile and or close out your books for each of the months and quarters. So the system, NeoSystems and UKG. So first and foremost, we are an implementation partner of UKG. What that means is we're able to go in and implement the product. We're able to provide technical resourcing and technical data conversion and project management. We cover a wide range of product knowledge, from very basic people center and pay for the US and Canada, to recruiting, to onboarding, to benefit management, to performance management, compensation management, succession, all the end management uses of the employee lifecycle, in addition to being able to help you connect this product with other third-party integrations or do any ad hoc reporting as necessary. Some of the value-add services that we bring to the table, like Don mentioned at the very beginning of our call, are managed accounting and managed human capital outsourcing, trusted advisory services, managed HRIS, managed payroll. Sometimes there are project-based projects that we're working on. If you're an existing UKG Pro user, one of the things that we love to do is come in and give you an assessment of where you're currently standing with the product and how you're using it, leveraging it, and where you could be leveraging it in the future. And we put together a very strong business plan, project plan, to help make sure that those goals are achieved. We're able to do SQL updates and provide business continuity planning from an HRIS and payroll perspective. Now, in terms of the certifications that we hold, we are certified in the People Center and Pay for both US and Canada. We're certified in all the talent management aspects, the talent acquisition. We do hold certifications for business intelligence, workforce management, data conversion, and project management. functionality. So unlike my peers that have demoed this product, as you can see, this is a very in-depth product that covers a lot of functional areas from HR to payroll to finance, and trying to demo it with all the unique features and all of its bells and whistles is very difficult to do in the time that we have permitted. So what I'm going to do in the remaining time is introduce a very good client of ours, a very close client, one that we've been working with for quite a few years now. They are a UKG Pro user, a long tenured UKG Pro user. And we're gonna, I just want to have a little bit of a conversation with our contact over there. And so the client that I'm going to be working with today is DCS Corp. They are headquartered in Alexandria, Virginia. They're around 1,700 employees in the US, and they're using a wide range of the UKG Pro modules to their advantage. I'm going to be joined by Gretchen Tusi, who is the manager of HR systems and operations. She joined DCS back in 2008, and she has been a UKG Pro user since 2016. So Gretchen, welcome.
Hi, Gregory. Can you see me?
I can see and hear you. Yes,
okay,
thank
great.
you. Okay, so as you know, we put together a few questions, and so I really just want to have us be talking about your overall experience with UKG Pro and UKG as an organization. So the first question that I have for you is, why did DCS originally choose to implement UKG Pro back in 2015?
Well, just to be honest, we were buried in paperwork. We had only had about 975 employees at the time, but over the previous couple of years, there were a couple of things key things that happened. In 2012, we had 2 acquisitions, which brought in about just under 250 additional employees. And so as you can see at 975, that was quite a bit of employees for us. And then in 2013, we had a big hit because we were forced to do more with less because of the government shutdown, sequestration, and some mandatory furloughs. So after that, we were trying to figure out how we were going to be able to scale our HR department when our HR advisors were stuck with so much paperwork. And so we were long overdue for an HRMS system. So we just felt like we needed to go ahead and dive in and find one.
Perfect. So it sounds like you had an immense need for a very robust product.
Absolutely. We looked at several systems, Silk Road, ADP, Kronos, and it really came down to 3 where we did the deep dive. One was called PDS Vista, and then the other 2 were web-based, and one was Workday, and the other was UltiPro or UKG at this point. It came down to UltiPro, quite frankly, just because of the money. You know, at that time, the Workday was the gold standard Cadillac product, but we saw some things with UltiPro that we liked. We felt like their service to us and the attention they paid to us was really good for a smaller company that we were. So we kind of felt that maybe they would meet our needs better, and especially in terms of budgetary considerations.
Well, that's good, especially from the budgetary perspective. So yeah. This really goes into my next question then. So what are your overall thoughts on UKG Pro, but more importantly, how has it helped your organization?
Well, first of all, there's better integration between HR and payroll overall. We've now got manager self-service and employee self-service. And for us, manager self-service was very much key because, you know, again, we were trying to make our HR personnel more of business partners rather than pencil pushers, paper pushers, and secretaries. We wanted them to have a more strategic role. And so turning on manager self-service helped in that case where we kind of pushed some of the onus onto managers into submitting their own changes and being responsible for records for their employees and things like that. We've also been able to automate so many things. I mean, again, getting rid of paper, we've been able to automate performance management, compensation management, benefits administration, payroll and taxes. onboarding, and then again, the self-service part just has taken away so much paperwork that it's just, you can't even imagine what a relief it is to us.
Well, it sounds like it's really helped the organization move forward, not just from the paper perspective, but also getting them more into a system and being able to make changes more frequently.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So with that in mind, what modules did you implement within the product, and how are you, I know we're monitoring time, but how are you using them from a super high level?
Sure. And you'd mentioned that on a previous slide. We've got onboarding, we've got people and pay, people analytics, benefits, succession planning we're developing now, performance management, compensation management. We've turned on the mobile app. And we're potentially looking at document management and service delivery at a certain point. We've been trying to, especially with the help of NeoSystems, really take advantage of all the things that have been included in our packages, and then take a look individually at the additional modules to see where we can gain additional functionality and across the board. For one of the best things for us was people analytics, the ability to have those reports, and they're actually fairly intuitive from a basic level. We've obviously used you guys to help us write some of the more advanced reporting, but just across the board, I think these products have really alleviated a lot of pain that we'd been going through previously.
Good. And so we'll piggyback. What have been some of the challenges that your organization has faced where UKG Pro has substantially helped outside of the analytics, outside of the onboarding? Have there been other items that are to note?
I think most generally, probably just the automation of processes and then integration of products, trying to get all the systems to talk to one another. Mm-hmm. And I think, you guys have been instrumental in helping us create either, standard integrations or setting up APIs, and that's been very helpful. But automation of processes is really probably always key when you're talking to an HR person.
Good. And so along those lines, we've been able to help you connect that Pro to Costpoint. Do you want to briefly talk about that?
Sure. You guys were able to create this great EMF file, and we're doing of the types that you were talking about earlier, we're doing the employee demographic changes only file. And so that file is automated. It's scheduled. It looks one day back, and it runs about midnight every morning. And then there's an IT internal script that cleans it up, and it dumps it into a folder. And I just use the interface tool within Costpoint and run it either every day. We go into blackouts at the end of payroll each month so that they can process labor before we can start going ahead. So they just, sit there and wait for me, and all I have to do is just dump them in one by another in, date order. And it's just been fantastic.
Good. Now, besides Costpoint, what other products have you been able to connect UKG Pro with?
Sure. We've got our ATS, our applicant tracking system, which is Taleo. We're also connecting to our LMS system, which is Docebo. And we are also connecting to Glint, which is our survey system for engagement surveys. And we're also working on setting up an exit interview with them as well.
Good. So you've been able to connect to a lot of third-party integrations outside of even from a benefit perspective or cost point perspective, a lot
Sure.
more ancillary and items that are not normally connected with this product.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And I did not mean to overlook, we have a lot of vendor file feeds for the health benefits. And we're also looking to integrate from a homegrown system that we have where we capture and house all of our employee resumes. And it's a very specific system that we can't quite give up and we can't use in UKG yet. So we're integrating so that we can get data moving back and forth from that as well.
Good. So lots of integrations and lots of data exchange happening.
Exactly.
Good. So I know you've talked about how we've been instrumental with helping you with the product. I don't want to spend too much time on them since we are running up to the hour. So, but I do want to ask this question: why did your organization choose to partner with an organization like NeoSystems?
Really, it's your expertise in both UKG and Costpoint. That was critical to us. We needed somebody who understood both systems, really, really well. And we'd had some previous interaction with NeoSystems even before we started looking at UltiPro. They were helping us on just Cognos reporting through Costpoint. And, we'd had such a great experience back then. And when we realized there was, additional experience in UKG Pro, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad we've been able to help you become even more successful within the product and really help your organization take advantage of the product. One last question I want to ask, and this is always a fun one, but what is your favorite aspect of the UltiPro product?
Well, I mean, you go ahead and ask me because I think I've mentioned it several times already. But for me, it's the amount of paper that we've been able to, get rid of. I mean, it's our employee files are no longer taking up, drawers and drawers of spaces in a file room anymore. It used to be horrible. You would have to have things signed. You'd have to run them around. They'd be, scanners and faxes. And now everything's just automated because Ulti has a really, you've got the ability to set up a very detailed approval system with conditions and qualifiers. And so we can stick to all of our policies and procedures and our signature authority matrix and still manage to have everything signed by whoever it needs to get signed by. And so for me, again, it's just getting rid of probably 90% of our paper so far.
Good. Well, Gretchen, I know we're at the top of the hour, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to come and speak to us. For those of you who are on the call, if you want to have more information or you have follow-up questions, here is my contact information. If you're at all interested in hearing more about this product and seeing it more in depth, I would love the opportunity to speak to all of you.
So thank you, Gregory and Gretchen, for your insights and showing just how well Costpoint and UKG Pro work together.